Pod Sports. We bring our thoughts on the latest games and sports news around the sports world, brought to you by the Sideline Sports Network. Sad day in the sports world. We got to talk about it. Old John Madden
Lost the legend
today at 85. John Madden passed today. Man, what a legend! Legendary coach. Of course, we've all been playing Madden since we were kids. I've been watching clips, since it was, announced and everything. And he's just legend, like in the booth, and nobody has been able to come close to that,
Right. And he's been across multiple generations of football fans. So that's the thing about it too, is there's been a lot of people that in one way or another know who John Madden is,
Yeah.
So it's pretty crazy for the football world to lose John Madden, but it's kind of one of those things where it was coming eventually, he was kind of getting up there in age, but it's still super sad.
Yeah, definitely. RIP to a legend, John Madden. They need to put him on the cover of the next Madden.
That's what I was thinking. Madden 23 or whatever, the next one will probably have him on the cover again, like the original ones.
They have to.
Which
they got to. Maybe some sort of throwback where it's a bunch of the different covers, from over the years.
Amazing. That would be so cool to see Madden just do away with the cover athlete next year and put Madden right on the cover of his own game.
Yeah,
that'd be pretty cool.
I would love that, man. But of course, we got a show to get into here. We're going to talk about the Week 16 games, break down those. Go into our Week 17 picks, as well as all the news that's been coming out this past week. I've been trying to steer away from all the COVID-related news just because there is so much. And, by the time we report people being on it, the same players are coming off,
Yeah.
So, it's a lot to keep up on. So I haven't really been reporting those as much as news. But there is some COVID-related news in the league we'll get to. And, of course, we're going to talk about the NBA hot and nots. You got hot and not list here.
Unfortunately, yeah. I have that. It's done. I'll share that with you.
And, of course, the bias bubbles and the crazy sports stat fact of the podcast. So we'll hop right into Week 16, Thursday night game here, the 49ers and the Titans. We both picked the 49ers, I believe, in this one, didn't we?
Let me double check. And yes,
I believe we did.
We took an L right out the gate.
We did take an L.
Right out the gate.
By all rights, 49ers should have won this game. The reason they lost is because of Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah.
This dude throw pick after pick.
Surprise.
Surprise. And at that time, it kind of gave the Titans some momentum. So they were able to, put a couple drives together that they needed to win the game. They came down and kicked the field goal to win it there at the very end. But Jimmy G, he had 322 yards, touchdown, 2 picks. Deebo Samuel had 32 rushing yards, as well as 159 receiving yards and no touchdowns.
9 receiving yards. This dude is on fire this year, man.
Yeah, he's been top 5. How most of the season, if not all season.
Right.
It's insane. Even with Jimmy being out those couple weeks, Trey Lance was in there for a little bit too.
That's so crazy. Yeah, and just doing it regardless of the quarterback.
Yeah. And then on the other side, you had Ryan Tannehill. He was 22 of 29 for 209 yards, a touchdown, no picks in this game. AJ Brown, he had 145 yards and a touchdown as well there on the Titans side.
So, they're still
and Julio. Julio was able to come back, but he only had 7 yards on 1 reception.
But him coming back before the playoffs is huge. They're sitting there at 10-5. They're rolling into the playoffs hot here, so
yeah,
they're going to be a dangerous
somehow.
team.
But I just don't see them doing anything in these playoffs. I just feel like they're kind of squeaking their way through each week with something,
Yeah, we'll see. But I think they're still a threat regardless to any team.
Oh yeah, it's. If you're good enough to get in the playoffs, you have to be some threat. It's
true.
Any given Sunday. You in the NFL for a reason. You should be able to, compete, especially in the playoffs.
True.
But yeah, the 49ers lost that game. We both picked those. Titans won. Going into the Saturday games, we had 2 Christmas Day games here.
Christmas games. I was super
the Browns
busy. I
and
didn't
the
get a chance to watch either of these, man.
I didn't either, to be honest. I would see little clips and stuff that's going on Twitter, but I was definitely not watching these games. I caught a little bit of the Colts Cardinals at that night, but other than that, I didn't really watch too much.
Right.
But the Browns and the Packers was the first game here. A lot closer than a lot of people thought. Especially, I mean, we didn't think it was going to be close. We thought the Packers were going to stomp the Browns.
It really was, but with Baker Mayfield being back, that makes it a little bit more even though that is Aaron Rodgers on the other side. Baker Mayfield tried his damnedest the whole time, So
yeah,
I respect him for that.
Yeah, I mean, he ended up with 21 of 36, 222 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions.
4 picks, man. Like I said, he tried his damnedest. He kept trying, So, like, hey,
yeah,
it is what it is. The Packers are just the hottest team in the NFL, man. Doesn't matter. So they're...
Yeah, I mean, Aaron, he was 24 of 34, 202, and 3 touchdowns, no picks.
Right.
Aaron Jones, 66 yards. Devontae, doing Devontae things, 114 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm. And we both picked the Packers in that one.
Oh, yeah, we both absolutely picked the Packers in this one. It was just a little closer than we thought.
Right.
Nick Chubb ended with 126 rushing yards, and he also had 58 receiving yards as well.
Aaron Rodgers broke Brett Favre's record for all-time touchdown passes as a Packer.
Yeah, and I think I do have the stats here, and it's significantly less time as well.
Yeah.
So we go into the next game here, the Colts and the Cardinals. I forget that do we both pick the Colts in this one?
We both picked Indy.
Both picked Indy in this one, and I'm glad we did.
Hunch that these Cardinals are starting their slip that they did last year, so
it is not looking good for these Cardinals at all, man.
It really
not at all.
They're a whole different
They went from
team.
A weekly pick to I don't know. I can't trust them.
Maybe this 8-6 team will probably beat them, and we were right, So the Colts ended up winning that game. Jonathan Taylor with another plus 100-yard rushing performance out there, just looking like the best. Like he might get Offensive Player of the Year. Honestly, I don't know about MVP, but he might get Offensive Player.
Yeah,
of the Year.
I mean, he is being talked about in MVP contention, but we'll see. And that's a hard road to go.
Yeah.
With being a running back at all. But this game, Carson actually, he was out there slinging it too. He was 18 of 28, 225 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions. He had that clutch touchdown at the end of the game where he just put a missile right into the back of the end zone there.
Right.
That sealed it for him. But the Colts, they're looking damn good here, and I mean they're fighting for a playoff spot. There's some questions if Carson's going to be available this weekend due to COVID, and they are still fighting for a playoff spot, so that is significant.
Right.
But we'll get to that here. But I mean, as of right now, as long as Carson and everybody's healthy in Indy, they're looking like a tough team. A team you don't want to see in the playoffs.
They just beat New England and then the Cardinals, so that's looking pretty good on their resume.
Yeah, absolutely. Going into Sunday here, Giants and the Eagles. This went exactly as planned.
This is the bloodbath
maybe not
we
the
thought
first,
it was going to be.
This is not the first quarter and a half I planned because it was looking pretty bad on offense. We were not able to do anything on offense for the first quarter and a half there. But that second half, we scored 31 unanswered points. Ridiculous. Back to back. End up 34-10 to these Giants. The defense was doing their thing. They had 2 picks on the day. They could have had 5. There was 3 drop interceptions in this game.
There was a pick 6, right?
Yeah, Alex Singleton had a pick 6 in this game. Darius Slay almost had another pick. Jalen Hurts, he ended up 17 of 29, 199 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Miles Sanders, 45 yards. Boston Scott, 41 yards. Devontae, he had a couple great catches. One smooth touchdown where he kept his toes just inside. And he had 80 yards and a touchdown. Quez had 43. Giants, man, they were abysmal. You had Mike Glennon and Jake Fromm playing in this game. Terrible.
Regardless of who's starting that quarterback, they're terrible right now, man.
Yeah, they both threw a pick. Glennon had 93 yards and a touchdown. Jake Fromm only had 25. Saquon had 15 carries for 32 yards. He wasn't doing anything. Yeah. Tony, he only had 20. He led in receiving with 28 yards. Giants just were not. They're terrible, man. All around. They're probably the worst team in the league. right now. I
even
would
though
put
they have 4 wins.
Lions, Texans. Yeah,
Right.
I would put them at the worst in the league right now.
Right now, I would put them as the worst team in the league. The Jets even could probably beat them right now.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I mean, we both picked the Eagles in this one. Yeah, just based off of them playing the Giants alone, and I'm just happy to see it be a stumping. You know, they were talking some shit after they caught us slipping in the last game. You know, that was a mistake. Shouldn't have happened. This is what should happen. Every game.
Now the Eagles are 8-7.
8-7. We above 500.
That's
we above
crazy,
500.
Man. I was not expecting the Eagles to be an 8-win team right this year.
Nobody did. So it's exceeding expectations. We can clinch a playoff spot this weekend, man. We'll talk about that a little bit more then. But yeah, things are looking up for them birds. Going to the next one here, Lions and the Falcons. We both picked the Falcons in this one.
Yep.
You know you can't trust them Lions, even though they've been kind of looking okay. They've been looking more like a team more recently, but you can't trust them.
Can't trust them. I don't care. Like, I don't care how many wins they get. They're terrible. Until they do something, until they make the playoffs or something, I'm not picking them damn Lions. Like, they're ridiculously bad. New coach or not, I don't care. It doesn't matter. The Falcons.
Yeah, I mean, Atlanta has a new coach too.
Exactly, and they came out and did their thing. You know, they're at least the almost 500 team, so they're trying. Like we said about Matt Ryan earlier in the season, we don't know what his future exactly looks like, but I definitely trusted the Falcons more in this game, even with the Lions' recent successes, if you want to say, you know, getting 2 wins.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Jared Goff wasn't playing for the Lions either.
Exactly.
They were able to put up 16 points. It was a close game, 2016.
Their one wide receiver was a beast, though, man. What's his name? Oh, man. Amon-Ra St. Brown? 91 yards and a touchdown. He was making some crazy catches, and he had a nice running play, too, but he was doing some nice shit, you know, regardless of the quarterback out there, so that's a bright spot for him at least, but that's about it.
Yeah. On the other side, Matt Ryan, he had 215 yards, touchdown, no picks. And then Kyle Pitts had 100 yards. You know, he had a great game in this one. He didn't have a touchdown, but he did have 100 yards. We both picked the Falcons, though, in that one. Ravens and the Bangles. This was a stomping. You know, it was looking doubtful for Lamar to play. He ended up not playing. And also, Tyler Huntley, I believe his name, he wasn't able to play because he was on the COVID list.
Exactly. So they were down to their third-string quarterback.
Yeah, and he only had a week to prepare. Josh Johnson. He had 340 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. So, I mean, it wasn't all bad. He was 28-40.
But Joe Burrow had a historic day, and that was the worst time for him to possibly do it.
Yeah, he was 37-46, 525 yards, 4 touchdowns, and no picks. Joe Mixon, 65 yards rushing and a touchdown. T. Higgins, 194 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns. And Jamar Chase, 125 yards, man. Nuts. Tyler Boyd even had 85 and a touchdown.
Crazy, man. If that's any indication of what that team's going to look like in the future, that's scary.
Yeah, let them get a nice O-line, man.
And protect
Bengals going to be looking like Bengals could run that division here.
Oh, yeah.
Over the next couple of years.
We thought it was going to end up being the Browns. Nope, it's the Bengals.
Yeah. Ravens, who knows? They're going to have to figure some shit out here.
Yeah.
I don't know if it doesn't seem like they're going to be able to this year, but next year they're going to have to figure some shit out.
They're like falling apart around Lamar. Like without Lamar, it's just chaos there.
It really is. We both picked the Bengals in this one because we just did not know what was going on with them Ravens.
Right.
At that point, they're so banged up and everything.
Exactly. So far, we're rolling. Only one loss was that Thursday game.
Yeah. Rams and the Vikings. We both picked the Rams. Yeah, so we still roll in this one here. You cannot trust them Vikings, and I mean these Rams. They're 11-4. They're looking like a pretty good contender right now.
Yeah.
You know they do have some down weeks, but more often than not, they're winning games.
Exactly, and with Cooper Kupp out there, anything's possible right now. Matt Stafford's having one of his best years. You know, maybe not crazy statistically. I know he had 3 interceptions in this game, but he's having a great year. He's got a great coach behind him, a great system. Sonny Michel. Former Patriot with 131 yards and a touchdown. So I got him on my fantasy team. He's going to try to help me win the Super Bowl. Please, come on now. They had a great game. I know we talk a lot about what the Vikings can do, but this was a game they were kind of walking into a buzzsaw where there was really not much they could do with Los Angeles coming in here as hot as they have been.
Yeah. And I mean, Cooper Kupp, like you mentioned, he had 109 yards, no touchdown. Tyler Higbee, 41 yards. On the Vikings, Kirk Cousins, 315, touchdown and a pick. Mattinson there had 41 rushing and one touchdown because Dalvin Cook's not playing right now. I believe he was on the COVID list as
Yeah.
well. Justice Jefferson, he had 116 yards, no touchdown. KJ Osborne, one touchdown, 68 yards. But yeah, we both picked the Rams in that one. Going to the next game, Bills and the Patriots. Just did not work out. You know, those Bills. I feel like they've been prepared for this game since they played y'all last. Like they weren't worried about any other game other than this one, so they were prepared. They really wanted to beat y'all, and they were able to put it together, man.
They were able to put it together. The only unfortunate thing about this is now it's a 2-game slide for the Patriots. After winning 7 straight, we're now 2 games in a row. We're down.
1 game above us.
1 game above them Eagles. A couple games above them Steelers. Like we're just as trash as them Steelers right now. Like that's how it feels. Even though I know we're better than that. It's just It seems like there's holes all over this team that it's not going to be a deep playoff team. At least, I think they'll make the playoffs still, but it doesn't look like they're going to be a deep playoff team. But Mac Jones didn't have his greatest game. This is probably his worst game. 14 of 32, 145, no touchdowns, and 2 picks. It was pretty terrible. He did have 33 yards on the ground, but it was pretty terrible as far as Mac Jones was concerned. Defense didn't help at all. We were giving up big plays, man. McKenzie kept getting first downs. It was just all around bad.
Yeah, I saw a couple plays like Josh Allen. He had that one sidearm that went like
the little
20 yards.
Pass, exactly. Like ridiculous. Everything was going right for him. Even though the win was crazy in this game too, it just wasn't as crazy. But they ended up getting the win, coming in the Foxborough and getting the win.
I mean, Damian Harris, he had 103 and 3 touchdowns for you the ground.
I had him on my fantasy team as well, so thank you very much. But I just it wasn't enough. You know, we needed more.
Yeah, Josh Allen, 314 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. He also led in rushing with 64 yards. Well, I don't understand why you got Josh Allen like leading in rushing when you got Singletary and Zach Moss and everything on your roster. It was the same thing with Hurts.
He's hard to take down, man.
9 weeks ago, like at the first half of the season, Hurts was leading in rushing when you have Miles Sanders and shit. Like, what are you doing?
It's hard to take him down, so they just keep giving him the ball.
Yeah. But I mean, like as you mentioned, McKenzie, he had 125 yards and a touchdown.
He had a great game.
Stephon had 85 yards and a touchdown, and he even went up to you, like Patriot fans, and said, "You, shut the fuck up," which was wild, man. I was like, "What? Did he just say that shit?"
Yeah. Stephon, we'll see because I'll get to this later, but we're probably gonna end up seeing the Bills again.
Oh, you guys have a division playoff game?
I'll get to that later.
Like an Eagles-Dallas playoff game, possibly, which would be wild. But we'll go into the next one here. We both picked the Patriots in this one.
Yeah, so that was another L.
We both thought you guys were going to – I thought you guys were going to take down the Bills. Jaguars and the Jets here. We differ on this one, didn't we?
Yep. You picked the Jets, I picked the Jags, so I took another L on this one here.
Old Zach Wilson put his boosters on and ran like what was that? Like his longest, like what was that rush? I gotta find the stats on here. He had that 52-yard rush out of the pocket for a touchdown, bro. Wild.
Just doing what he wants to do out there. I mean, this dude, I don't really know what his future holds because it's just such a question mark. But he took off. He had a good game there, at least. He only had 102 yards passing, but he took off for that run. Got a touchdown out of it.
Carter, 118 yards rushing. He led in rushing. Barrios, 37 yards, no touchdown. On the Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence, 280 yards, no touchdown, no picks in this one. Not really too much to talk about with them Jaguars.
Nah.
I mean, Marvin Jones Jr. led in receiving, 74 yards. But they just did not look good. Jets were able to get points, though. That's all that mattered. I believe they had a defensive touchdown as well.
Right. I really thought the Jags were going to be able to pull that out, but
they ran a kickback, something like that.
Couldn't do it.
The next game here, the Buccaneers and the Panthers. Buccaneers absolutely slaughtered the Panthers.
Got Cam Newton questioning life.
Yeah, like, do I want to play football anymore?
Damn, am I even good enough to do this shit anymore?
Tom Brady effect.
Tom Brady
Who
done
got
been
other
playing this game
QBs.
for 21 years. I don't fucking understand how he's doing it, you know. But meanwhile, Tom Brady gets another NFC South title. You know, not another NFC
Yeah,
South, but another division title under his belt here.
yeah.
Um,
232 yards and a touchdown for old Thomas Brady.
Thomas fucking Brady.
Antonio Brown with 100 yards
Hell yeah.
receiving, coming back off a suspension there. Sam Darnold made his appearance there, coming back, 190 yards passing, no touchdowns, no picks. Cam did have a pick and 61 yards passing. He also led in rushing with 42 yards.
Yep, but they benched him.
Panthers just abysmal right now, 5-10. Gonna get worse here in the next 2 weeks for them. I'm sure their season's over.
They're such a mess, man. They're such a mess.
They are.
They've been 2-10 since they started 3-0.
Yeah, nuts, man.
Ridiculous.
You losing McCaff, and then you lost Sam Darnold for a minute, and then you fire your offensive coordinator. Like, I don't know. Yeah, nobody saw that coming.
No, but we did both pick Tampa Bay in that one.
Yeah. Chargers and the Texans here. Nobody predicted this one. We both picked the Chargers in this. Texans came out and mollywopped
They did.
these Chargers.
They came out hot, man. Burkhead had 149 yards and 2 touchdowns. They were just rolling. The defense was rolling. They were picking off Herbert. So I don't know what happened, like what they were serving up in the Texans stadium that day, but we both picked the Chargers in this game and we're wrong. Texans ended up getting the win at home.
Davis Mills showing out 21 of 27, 254 yards and 2 touchdowns. Rex Burkhead, 149 yards and 2 touchdowns. Rex had a great, he has like 1 or 2 of those a year where he has like over 100 yards and like multiple touchdowns.
Right. I miss him being on the Patriots.
And those Chargers, Justin Herbert, he had 2 picks, 1 touchdown, 336 yards. And then it just didn't, the rest of the team didn't really do much. Justin Jackson, he led in rushing 64 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he also led in receiving 98 yards. But yeah, nobody saw this one coming. Texans got the dub, though.
Nope. But on this next one here, I ended up surprising myself even with my pick. I had a cheeky pick here.
You picked these damn Bears. And I picked them Seahawks. I don't know how you saw the Bears winning this game because it wasn't announced Nick Foles was a starter until like a day or 2 after we did the podcast. If I would have known that shit, I would have picked the Bears. Nick Foles playing, you getting dubs, baby.
You getting dubs.
He got a game-winning touchdown too. He threw that like a missile. Like Carson Wentz.
That's what I'm saying, man. That Nick Foles magic. I didn't know it was going to happen, but something told me to pick them Bears, and I'm glad I did. But pick them Seahawks. Man, Russ is gone. I say this every time we talk about them having another loss. It's just getting worse and more, and it's getting more evident that he is gone. He is just never
Pete
coming
Carroll
back.
out here saying that they don't think they need to tear it apart to rebuild. He thinks that they can like salvage what they have.
Yeah,
like good luck with that, man.
What do you
Russ
have?
is leaving.
Exactly, he's gone. I mean, Rashard Penny had a great game, but Russ is gone.
Yeah, he's been having a couple great games, since coming into the lineup. But other than that, Russ, he had 2 touchdowns, 181 yards. He didn't have any picks in this one. Nick Foles, 250 yards, touchdown, no interceptions. David Montgomery, 45 yards and a touchdown. He also had led in receiving with 61 yards and no touchdown as well. But the Bears were able to get it done. They're 5-10. I mean, they don't have any hopes. I think they're eliminated for playoffs as of right now. But
both these teams 5-10, trash and trash.
Trash and trash. Better luck next year. I think the Bears will be better next year, especially if they get rid of Nagy, get a competent head coach to go in there with Fields. I think their defense is all right. I think if they just get a nice quarterback, they'll be all right. If they're able to keep Allen Robinson.
They need some consistency. They need some, chemistry. There's a lot of things missing, and they need to keep Allen Robinson, but trash and trash, just
trash.
Just like
Seahawks
in this next game,
Bears.
the fucking Steelers, the fucking
Chiefs
trash.
and the Steelers, and the Chiefs absolutely demolished these
They
Steelers.
whooped their ass. At one point, it was 30-0, and I'm just laughing.
Yeah,
I'm like, look at this shit. At least if my Patriots lost, at least the Steelers are getting their asses whooped right now. Like that's pretty.
The Steelers are 7-7-1 as of right now. The Chiefs have rolled into 11-4 and won the division at this point. Pretty much, they sealed it up.
Fucking A. The Steelers are gonna end up 8-1. They're gonna be fucking straight mediocre.
Yeah.
God damn.
I mean, Big Ben, he had 159 yards, touchdown, and a pick. Mason Rudolph even came into this game.
I don't know what's
at one
up with
point.
Tyreek Hill. He only had 2 catches, but
Yeah.
he needs to turn it up, man. I need him to have a good game this week. He needs to have a great game
For Super Bowl.
for the Super Bowl. Man. He needs to have a great game.
Najee Harris, he had 93 yards, no touchdown. Deontay Johnson, 51 and a touchdown. Pat Mahomes, 250. He was 23 of 30, 258 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks.
He was lighting it up.
Yeah, lightened it up. Pringle, 75 yards and 2 touchdowns. Gore got 61 yards. Tyreek, yeah, like you said, he only had 2 receptions, 19 yards. And Kelsey wasn't in there just because he was in the COVID protocol and everything at that. They weren't even sure if Tyreek was going to be able to play, but he was able to come back.
Right. But they ended up winning the AFC West there with that victory. Yeah. So they've
looking back on it, there was a lot of ass whoopings this weekend.
There was,
like, more than normal. There was a lot of blowouts.
There's a lot of ass whoopings. Exactly.
Next game here, the Broncos and the Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
Did you pick? Did we differ on this one, or did we both pick the Raiders?
We both picked the Raiders. We had that feeling.
The Raiders.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, they were able to pull it off here. You can't trust them Broncos. Drew Lock only had 153 yards, no touchdown, no interceptions. Williams here, Javonte Williams, he had a touchdown, but only 12 rushing yards. Jerry Jeudy, 60 yards, no touchdowns. Derek Carr, 201 yards, touchdown, and interceptions. Josh Jacobs pretty much ran the field, 129 yards, no touchdowns there.
Still, Darren Waller out another week. Darren Waller he's been out since Thanksgiving, man. And they ended up getting the win, but he needs to come back for them to have any chances here. Their playoff hopes
They're 8-7
alive.
right now. They've been sliding. Yeah, they're still alive. But their record was a lot nicer in those first 6 games, and now they're 8-7.
So we'll see what happens, but they need Darren Waller back as soon as possible. And they're saying there's hopes that he practices this week, so we'll see what happens with that. But they need him desperately.
Yeah. The next game here, Washington versus the Cowboys.
This was an ass whooping.
This was an ass whooping. They already had 40 points by halftime or some shit. It was nuts.
42 at the half. 42 to 7.
42 at half.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I mean, Dak Prescott, he was 28-39, 330 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. Zeke, 37 yards rushing and a touchdown. Amari Cooper, 85 yards. Turner had 82 yards. Schultz had 82 yards. And they all had touchdown as well. Washington, Taylor Heineke only had 121 yards, a touchdown, 2 picks. Patterson led on the ground with 33 yards. Brown led in receiving with 53 yards and no touchdowns.
Did they clinch
the Cowboys defense led the game?
Did they clinch the NFC East with that?
Yes, they clinched the NFC East. They clinched it with the 49ers loss, I believe, somehow. Okay. I don't know how it happens, but they because I don't know why. I saw that after the 49ers loss, it was Dallas clinched. And I was like, that's pretty weird. It was either the 49ers or the Seahawks, one of those two.
Clinched division. So there's
but I was like, how the
two
fuck
playoff
does that
spots
affect
open.
The Cowboys?
There's two playoff spots open in the NFC right now, and you're holding on to that 7th spot.
Yeah, we can lock it in this week if a couple things happen.
Shit.
We'll talk about that. But yeah, Washington here, they got blown out. That Dallas Cowboys defense had a couple touchdowns, had multiple picks. They were able to get it done.
Damn, man. They blew them out. We both picked Dallas in that. We knew exactly what was going to happen with this here.
Exactly. Monday night game, Dolphins versus the Saints. We both picked the Dolphins in this one.
Yep.
When, as expected, the Saints have so many people in COVID protocols right now, including Taysom Hill.
Yeah.
And Brock Osweiler. I think Brock Osweiler was hurt, I believe. But you have, what's his name? Ian Book came in. He was 12 of 20, 135 yards, 2 interceptions. Alvin Kamara had 52 yards rushing on the ground.
Probably one of the lowest rated Monday night games in recent history.
Yeah. Tua had 198 yards, touchdown, and a pick. Leading in.
Waddle had a nice game there.
Duke Johnson, 39 yards. Yeah, Jalen Waddle, 92 and a touchdown. He had a couple great catches in this game.
But, I mean, like we expected this. The Dolphins are on a 7-game winning streak here, which is crazy to think about. But they're only 1 game behind the Bills and the Patriots in the AFC East. They can still win the
they're
division.
the first team in history to go like 0-7 and then go 7 and then win 7 straight. They lost 7 straight and then won 7 straight.
Yeah,
they're only team in history to do that.
Beat us out the gate. I think week 1 they beat us, and then we're 1-7, and now they're 8-7. So that's crazy. So congratulations for them, but I feel like it's coming to a halt here soon.
Yeah. But we'll go right into our news here before we go into our picks for Week 17 here. All the news. NFL and NFLPA now have adopted the new CDC guidelines that reduce the quarantine time to 5 days from 10 days for all COVID-positive players who are asymptomatic, including those who are unvaccinated.
Okay.
And more on that, that return to play isn't contingent on being asymptomatic. You also need 5 days since initial positive swab, at least 24 hours since the last fever, other symptoms resolved or improved, and cleared by a team doctor. So those are kind of other things you have to follow other than just, the 5 days. But that should help a lot of teams get some of these players back a lot faster, not missing games or anything like that, which kind of plays into, Carson Wentz was put on the reserve list today, which they didn't mark it if he was just a close contact or if he actually tested positive or not. They didn't reveal that. So, I mean, the status as of right now is he has a possibility he can play this weekend with playoff implications going forward for the Colts.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an important game to see. They're going to need him.
Yeah, so, I mean, hopefully they can get him. If not, Jonathan Taylor going to have like 200-plus rushing yards in this game.
Exactly.
50 carries.
Start Jonathan Taylor if you got him like you weren't going to anyway.
Jaguars are interviewing Doug Peterson for a head coaching job.
Oh,
they're also
interesting. We wrote that down months ago.
For anybody, we've been talking about this past couple weeks here because it just kind of keeps developing. They're also getting requests in to interview the Bucs offense coordinator Byron Leftwich, DC Todd Bowles, and Cowboys offensive coordinator Kellen Moore. So a lot of, I probably see, I don't know if anybody for the Bucs is going to leave. I could see either Kellen Moore or Doug Peterson. I think it's going to be
Doug Peterson.
I think it's going to be Doug. For some reason, I don't see Kellen Moore going away from Dallas, with, how great they've been playing recently and, their record.
They're trying to build something.
It has to be real intriguing.
I really see
especially
Doug Peterson being the next head coach there.
I think it's going to happen. But going forward here, Dolphins are now like we already mentioned, they're the first team in history to both have a 7-game winning streak and a 7-game losing streak in the same season. It's wild.
Hot and not.
Rams coach Sean McVay announced that Darrell Henderson will go on IR with an MCL sprain, and Cam Akers is active, and he's going to be pretty much starting now, which is crazy. He's 5 months off of like an Achilles injury.
I think Sonny Michel is going to be starting.
Is he? Oh, Cam Akers is active then.
But that's good. At least they have Cam Akers back.
Yeah, like 5 months off of a Achilles injury, man. That's nuts.
Playing professional football.
Jimmy Garoppolo for the 49ers has a more significant injury to his right thumb, and apparently it's torn ligaments, similar to Russell Wilson and Taysom Hill.
Of course it is. All I heard you saying Jimmy Garoppolo, and I knew that you were going to be talking about some type of injury. I knew it. This dude cannot stay healthy.
I mean, at this point, it's looking like Trey Lance is probably going to be starting, which could help them birds out a little bit if these 49ers slide a little bit, or if he's playing well, could help them get some dubs.
Jimmy G ain't going to be a 49er next year.
I don't see it happening as well. I think they're going to be rolling with Trey Lance.
Exactly.
Jimmy G might be ending up backing up somewhere. Who knows?
Jacksonville or some shit.
Possibly, you never know. Only player with 100 passing touchdowns and 20-plus rushing touchdowns in his first 4 seasons is Josh Allen.
Hey.
Very crazy stuff. Josh Allen, wheels.
I'm pretty mad at Josh Allen right now.
I know.
Fuck Josh Allen.
The Bears have made no final decision on firing Matt Nagy, which is crazy.
If they haven't made a decision yet, that means it's still in the air. They're still
Hope not.
we're gonna probably fire you. We just haven't made a decision yet. So
Yeah, I think they just wait until after the season.
News will break eventually.
Yeah. Ravens cornerback Anthony Everett sustained a fractured rib versus the Bengals, so it's just another injury for the Ravens.
Damn.
Not looking good. Steelers offensive line coach Adrian Clem is departing for Oregon, where he'll be O-line coach, run game coordinator, and assistant head coach. He spoke with Mike Tomlin and is being let out today to start his new job. Cool. So he's gone.
He's peace. This shit's falling apart. I'm out.
I'm going coach in Oregon.
All right, Tomlin, you're going to have your first losing season.
Bucs coach Bruce Arians tells reporters pass rusher Shaq Barrett has a sprained MCL and ACL. Is out the next 2 games, at least.
Okay, at least maybe
they hope to have him back in the playoffs.
Right.
Also, Bruce Arians is on COVID list as well. He tested positive, so that he might not be available for the game this weekend.
God damn it.
You got Tom. Tom going to be coaching.
Tom's the coach. Anyway, it don't matter.
I have a list here of all the rookie head coaches and the status as of right now. So as of right now, through 15 games, Brandon Staley for the Chargers 8-7, Nick Sirianni with Philly 8-7, Arthur Smith at Atlanta 7-8, Dave Culley with Houston's 4-11, Robert Saleh with the Jets is 4-11, Dan Campbell with the Lions is 2-12-1, Urban Meyer is 2-11 and fired.
He's already he's already lost his job by this point. And yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it's surprising, I guess, to me that there's only been one coach fired, but he's had a lot of bullshit that's happened this year in the media and outside of the media. So it's to be expected with Urban Meyer. He's there. I saw a poll the other day. It was like, is Urban Meyer the worst NFL coach of all time? Like, I was just like, oh my god, bro, this shit is crazy. Just because this is his second stint in the NFL, they're just, is he the worst NFL coach of all time?
Well, I mean, as of right now, we do have 2 rookie head coaches with positive records, which is a good thing, though.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes and finishes out the season here.
That is
They're
true.
On the brink of having positive records.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Joe Burrow's out here roasting Baltimore. As a quote, he said, "This is the NFL. This isn't Pee Wee. This isn't high school where you go out, just run up the score. You play until the final whistle. They did it to us last year. No sympathy from me."
Yeah.
It's like Joe Burrow just like, fuck your feelings. I'm out here just to score points and win.
What I want to do. I don't give a shit. I'm trying to fucking score. Like, 525 yards. That shit is outrageous.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
In the game against Washington, the Cowboys scored 49 points, and that's more than the Giants have scored in the month of December this year.
Sad.
They had 46.
Sad.
Speaking of Washington, Jonathan Allen and Darren Payne were on the sideline fist fighting. This famous video that was happening during the game, they got in an altercation and had to be split up on a sideline. So you got players in your own locker room fighting.
Don't surprise me, though. Shit's been going from bad to worse in Washington lately over the weeks.
Yeah. Cowboys cornerback Trayvon Diggs, first player with 11 interceptions in a season since Everson Walls had 11 in 1981. Damn. No players had done it in 40 years.
Holy shit. That's crazy. Yeah. I didn't realize that it's been that long since the players had only 11 interceptions in 1 year. I mean, I know it's a lot of just like, damn.
The Seahawks are the first team this season to lose multiple games after leading by double digits in the fourth quarter. Also against the Titans in week 2, and both were at home as well.
The fucking defense, man. That's why Russ is gone, because he's going to go somewhere that's got at least basic defense that's going to be able to hold him under 35 points.
Yeah, and a crazy sports stat to go along with it. Seattle clinched last place in the NFC West for the first time since moving to the division in 2002.
Ridiculous, man.
Russ gone.
Russ gone. Hashtag Russ gone.
Chiefs. Hashtag Russ gone. Chiefs clinched the AFC West. They now own the longest active streak of division titles, which is 6, and playoff appearances at 7 in a row.
Yeah. It's just because we lost Tom Brady. That's the only fucking reason. We had it. Let me know when it's at 11 or 12, whatever the fuck our record was.
It's the longest active as of right now. Uh, that's now been 17 consecutive seasons that the defending NFC East champion has not repeated, which is
17
pretty
straight.
wild. 17 straight seasons in the NFC East where no team is repeated as the division winner.
It's a
The
goddamn
last
fist
team to
fight
do
every
it
year.
was the 03 and 04 Eagles.
It's a goddamn fist fight every year in that fucking division. You never know. All you know is the Giants are going to be bad.
All you know is the Giants are going to be bad. The last time New York won it was in 2011.
Shit, man. God damn, that's when they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah. They had it in 05. Oh, crap. Yeah, they had it in 05, 08, and 2011. And that's it. That was the last time.
They're shit.
The Bills. Oh, we'll get to that, though. That's crazy sports stat. Don't want to. It involves the Bills. I'm sorry. It involves your Patriots, too. So that's a little hint. Giants are now tied with the Jets for the fewest wins, 22 in NFL over the last 5 seasons.
Two
Pitiful.
New York teams. Pitiful.
Pitiful. We talked about that a little bit last week, I'm pretty sure. The Packers are 12-3. Marks the first time in franchise history the Packers have won 12-plus games in 3 straight seasons, which is pretty crazy given like the history of the Packers.
Yeah, I mean, like, we expect them to be good right now, though.
Yeah. Bucks have won their first NFC South title since 2007. We've mentioned that. Joe Burrow with 525 passing yards, and this game is the 4th highest single game total in NFL history. And he's also the first player in NFL history with multiple 400-yard passing games in a season versus the same team.
Damn.
Yeah, so Joe Burrow out here breaking records. Another Tom Brady stat. Tom Brady's playing his 46th playoff game, and that's more than 22 NFL franchises.
This man needs to retire.
Needs to retire. Justin Jefferson passed Odell Beckham Jr. for the most receiving yards in a player's first 2 seasons in NFL history. He passed 2,758. So, I mean, dude's legit.
This could be the future, man.
Zach Wilson's 52-yard rushing touchdown is the longest rushing touchdown by a QB in Jets history. And it's also Wilson scored the longest rush touchdown by any QB since Marcus Mariota in 2015. And Marcus Mariota had an 87-yard rushing touchdown.
Right.
James Robinson for the Jaguars out with a lower left injury and a torn Achilles. Bad. The Bears coaching picture is becoming clear as the losses mount for Matt Nagy. Apparently, Jim Caldwell has been linked to the Bears and also Jacksonville as well.
Interesting. Be cool to see him come back to the league.
Yeah, it's very interesting. That's not a name we've been hearing about recently.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we haven't seen him in a while, so it'll be interesting to see him come back and coach. I know he wasn't doing well. That's why he kind of left coaching. Like, he was having some health issues, but hopefully he's all good now. I mean, his name's back in there.
Right.
The Giants' plans are to bring back Joe Judge and Daniel Jones in 2022, according to Bleacher Report, for some strange reason. Apparently, they just want to keep racking up these high draft picks.
Bad idea. You don't want to win football games, I guess.
No. The Colts are 9-0 this season when JT runs over 100 yards and 0-6 when he doesn't.
Well, that's the secret.
Yeah, so I mean you gotta do it. You gotta have 100 yards for JT. Packers coach Matt Lafleur is now the first head coach in NFL history with at least 12 wins in each of his first 3 seasons.
I think we talked about that.
Did we?
Like, I think we talked about him being like with 11 wins or something like that, just like a little bit ago.
Well, he keeps just racking them up now. Mm-hmm. We might say the same thing next week if they win another one, 13. Apparently, the Saints called Drew Brees to gauge his interest on coming back at QB with all the injuries and COVID stuff going on.
Man, he said back.
Apparently, he sent him back a photo of him golfing.
He's like, I am not fucking playing football right now. Are you kidding me? Especially with all the COVID going. No.
Hell no.
Fuck no. I'm golfing. Playing with kids.
NFL announces key dates for 2022-2023 league year. Free agency begins March 16th at 4 p.m. And top free agents include Devontae Adams, Chris Godwin, Terron Armstead, Chandler Jones, and Stephon Gilmore.
Maybe we get a nice wide receiver. That would be what we need the most, would be a wide receiver.
Devontae going to come and pair up with Devontae Smith. And he in Philly.
I don't think we're going to get Devontae Smith, but maybe we can get Godwin.
No, I'm saying Devontae going to go to Philly and play with Devontae Smith.
Maybe if y'all get Russ.
Pair. We rolling with Jalen Hurts.
For now.
Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts' future. No team had more Pro Bowl players than the Colts, who had 7
on
the roster. Wild. 6 teams did not have a Pro Bowler on their roster, and it's the Broncos, the Giants, Jaguars, Jets, Lions, and Texans.
Pretty funny how you don't even have 1 Pro Bowler. That shit's ridiculous to me. Even the Steelers had 2.
Yeah, even the Steelers had 2. And we did mention Aaron Rodgers breaking Brett Favre's passing touchdown record. He did it in 45 fewer games.
Damn.
On 1,000
seasons.
Yeah, on 1,730 fewer attempts with 193 fewer interceptions.
God damn.
Yeah. So that just shows you how good Aaron Rodgers is, man.
Right.
But that's all I have here as far as NFL news. We can roll right into our Week 17 predictions brought to you by the Sideline Sports Network and Squad Pod Sports. No Thursday night games this week, Vern.
Why?
None. Because we had to move some games around before, man. No Thursday night games.
I'm pretty upset.
I don't know
that,
why, to be honest. I don't know why there's no Thursday night game. I didn't see any explanation for it.
I'll live with it. It is what it is.
We don't have any Saturday games either. We just got Sunday and Monday this week.
Normal ass Sunday and Monday week. Whatever. We'll live with it. At least we won't have the season starting or the week starting with a loss right off the Thursday game. We can wait till Sunday
Wait till Sunday. So we'll go right into the first game here on Sunday, the Falcons and the Bills. I'm rolling with the Bills in this one. They're 14.5-point favorites in this one. That's pretty high.
I'm going to roll with Atlanta.
Are you really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
You're picking Atlanta
I'm picking Atlanta because and it's not my brain, it's my heart picking in this one here because I really, really, really need these Bills to lose. So this is what I need. I need Atlanta to win this game, so I'm gonna speak it into existence. So Atlanta's gonna beat Buffalo. I don't care what that 14.5-point spread says. Go Falcons. Nice.
You never know. Upsets happen pretty much weekly in this, at least this season too.
Let's go.
Wild games, but I'm definitely rolling with Bills in this one. So we gonna differ on the first pick here.
Mm-hmm. I need to catch you too, so that's the thing. I need to switch some things up here.
Start making some bold predictions here.
Yes.
The Giants and the Bears. I am gonna roll with Chicago in this one.
Yeah, safe pick is Chicago, even though both these teams are shit. New York is really shit, so I'm gonna roll with Chicago in that one.
We just mentioned before earlier in the podcast, we think the Giants are the worst team in the NFL.
Yeah.
As of right now, even though they have 4 wins, they're by far the worst mismanaged team in the NFL.
I don't even know who they're going to start at quarterback, and it's going to be 19 degrees at the stadium that day. It looks like. So.
Yeah, it's either Glennon or Jake Fromm.
I mean, I don't even know who the Bears are going to start at quarterback. To be honest with you.
Oh, my guess probably Nick Foles.
Probably, but we'll see.
Unless Justin Fields is able to come back.
We'll see, but I'm picking the Bears regardless.
I'm going with Chicago.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're 6-point favorites on that one. Eagles and Washington. Eagles are 3.5-point favorites on this game. I'm rolling with the Birds.
Eagles and Washington, huh?
You picked the Washington no names last time, and it didn't work out.
Eagles and Washington, huh? Well, Washington just got fucking trounced by Dallas, so they're not the same team I thought they were. I'm picking Philly in this game. I'm just going to be safe and pick Philly because they're going to win the game.
Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely rolling Philly in this one. We'll kind of talk about that then. If Eagles win this game, the Packers, we'll talk about that game here soon. The Packers have to beat Minnesota. If that happens, we're pretty much locked in.
Yeah.
Because Minnesota will be back a game at that point.
Into the wild card there.
Yeah, exactly. And also, if the Saints lose and if If the 49ers lose again, that cements us in there in the either the 6 or 7 seed there.
Yeah.
So there's a couple different factors in here that'll lock us in for sure into the playoffs. As long as we win this game, that's the most important thing. We got to win this game against Washington.
I'm picking. I'll roll Philly.
Next game here, Chiefs and the Bengals. This is going to be a very good game, I feel.
This will be very interesting, but I honestly think Kansas City will come out on top. They're really hot. I know the Bengals are too, and Joe Burrow's out here slinging it, and everybody on Kansas City or the Bengals offense it seems hot right now. But I'm rolling with the Chiefs, man. They're trying to prove to everybody they're the best team in the AFC again. You know?
Yeah, so they are 5-point favorites. Another reason I'm going to pick the Chiefs is their Chiefs defense is rolling.
Yeah.
Over these past couple weeks, and the Bengals defense, they're still letting up all these points.
Exactly.
Regardless. Pretty much the Bengals looking like how the Chiefs were a couple years ago, where they were pretty much just they had to outscore everybody each game just because their defense didn't look great. That's how the Bengals are kind of playing here. So I mean, that's the reason I'm going with the Chiefs overall, because I think they're going to be able to stop the Bengals enough times, to solidify that win.
Exactly, I completely agree.
Going into this next one here, Dolphins and the Titans. Tennessee are 3.5-point favorites here. Let's see where it's at. Is it in Tennessee?
Yep.
Yes, it's in Nissan Stadium.
I'm
gonna
roll with Tennessee in this game here because Tennessee's still trying to lock onto that playoff spot as well. I know the Dolphins are on this 7-game streak, but this is where it ends right here. Sorry, Tua Tagovailoa.
I'm gonna pick the Dolphins.
All right. Good.
I'm gonna pick them Dolphins.
Good. Excellent. I'm glad you picked the Dolphins because they're gonna fucking lose, and I'm gonna be catching up to you a little bit there.
I'm gonna pick them Dolphins.
Good.
So yeah, next one here, Raiders and the Colts.
This is pretty easy, to be honest with you. I'm rolling with the Colts. I don't even care if Carson Wentz plays.
Even if Wentz isn't in?
I don't even care because isn't Jacoby the backup?
No, Jacoby's back up in Miami.
Oh shit, that's right. Who's their backup in Indy?
Ellinger.
How did he do last time he was backing up Carson Wentz? No,
did he
Jacoby Eason
play this season?
Jacoby Eason. Okay. He looks like he didn't
I don't know if
too
they
hot.
played it all this season, did they?
Oh jeez.
It don't even really miss any time.
It don't even matter. I'm still because they got Jonathan Taylor, so I'm rolling with Carson.
Jonathan Taylor gonna have like 200 yards and 3 touchdowns.
A Carson Wentz list or a Carson Wentz Colts offense. It doesn't matter. I'm rolling with them against Miami here.
Against the Raiders. But yeah, I'm inclined to agree with you.
I was looking at the wrong game.
It's all good. But yeah, the Raiders, I'm picking the Colts over the Raiders as well.
Gotcha.
The Raiders just have not looked good at all. And I feel like
they won last week, but it was against the Broncos.
With a backup, even with a backup, I think could still run the ball with Jonathan Taylor. I'm sure they'll be able to pull out a win here.
Exactly.
The Raiders defense isn't that good, so I would imagine Jonathan Taylor will just be able to run up and down the field on them.
Right.
There's a little fly in here. Jaguars and the Patriots here. I'm definitely rolling with the Patriots. This is a get-right game.
This is a get-right game if I've ever seen one, man. We need to not even
You guys are 15.5-point favorites. You better win this game.
Demolish these Jaguars like in a great fashion here, man. I would love it. That's gonna be so good. And it's a 1:00 game in Foxborough. It's gonna be nice and hot too. It's a weird 51 degrees in Foxborough that game, but
tons of 1:00 games.
It's gonna be nice, man. New England should definitely win that game. Mac Jones kind of get back on track.
Yeah, I'm for sure picking the Patriots in that one. Buccaneers Jets, 100% rolling with the Buccaneers.
This
13
is gonna be a bloodbath.
They're 13-point favorites on the game here.
I'm surprised it's only 13. It's probably because of all the injuries, but the Buccaneers are gonna just slaughter the Jets. Tom Brady's used to slaughtering the Jets.
Yeah, he knows exactly how to do it.
Exactly.
And Jets just are not going to be able to keep up with them at all.
Exactly.
Rams and the Ravens. I'm going with the Rams on this one.
This is kind of another easy one because you don't really know the status of Lamar, and the Rams have been playing hot. They're an 11-win team right now, so it doesn't even matter if it's in Baltimore. I'm rolling with Los Angeles in this one.
Yeah. Broncos and the Chargers at 4:00. Chargers are 5.5-point favorites. I'm inclined to pick the Chargers here.
Yeah, even though they came off that loss last week, I'm going to still pick the Chargers. The Broncos kind of slipping there a little bit, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Herbert he's not going to throw all them picks every game, you know, so he'll be fine. He's going to bounce back here. I know that Broncos defense is nice, but he'll bounce back here.
Yeah, they're still fighting for a playoff spot too.
Yeah.
Them Chargers. Texans and the 49ers. San Fran are 12.5-point favorites on the Texans right now. Even with, I'm guessing, with Jimmy G's status in doubt.
Yeah, that's because of how bad the Texans are. Even though they surprised everybody last week, I'm going to roll with the 49ers.
I am too. Even with Trey Lance in there. They got all those weapons.
Mm-hmm. Debo is probably going to ball out regardless.
Yeah. Cardinals and the Cowboys. Dallas are 5.5-point favorites. I gotta pick the Cowboys in this one.
It's hard, yeah, man. I'm gonna have to pick the Cowboys as well until they prove me wrong. They've been playing great football the last couple of weeks. As much as it pains me to say, man, they've been balling. So I'm gonna pick the Cowboys.
Cardinals are slipping.
Here. Been slipping fast.
Yeah. So definitely gonna roll with them Cowboys there. Saints and the Panthers. Saints are 6.5-point favorites in this one.
I'm going with Carolina.
I'm going to pick Carolina as well. I'm not going to lie. I'm rolling. Saints looked absolutely terrible on Monday night here, and I know that they may be getting some players back from COVID, but come on, man. I don't know if it's going to make that much of a difference.
Right. Absolutely. I'm rolling with Carolina in that game. Even it doesn't matter who starts a quarterback in Carolina there, but I'm rolling with the Panthers.
Yeah, I think I'm going to pick the Panthers as well.
Shit game next here.
Yeah, Lions and the Seahawks. I'm going to pick the Seahawks again. I know I picked them last week and they lost, but Seahawks, I'm not picking them because they're a 7-point favorite. I just think they're going to be able to beat the Lions.
Yeah, I'm picking the Seahawks because they're playing the Lions. Simple as that.
Yeah. And then you got the primetime game on Sunday, Vikings and the Packers. I'm going with the Packers, 6.5-point favorites there.
Yep, me too. I think the Packers will continue. I don't think they're going to rest anybody quite yet here. I don't think they have the 1 seed locked up, do they?
Packers? Yeah, they won the division.
But they don't have the 1 seed
no, they don't have the 1 seed locked up
right,
yet.
So no. I don't think they're going to be
but
resting anybody.
They're a game ahead of, like, Dallas and Tampa Bay.
Right. But they're going to be out there trying to solidify their position and get that 1 seed. So I think they're going to come out and win that game here. It's going to be 5 degrees. Jesus.
Yeah, and like I said, if the Vikings lose, that pretty much locks the Eagles in there at that 7 seed. Because they'll be 7-9, and if the Eagles win, they'll be 9-7.
Yep.
So hopefully, fingers crossed, knock on wood, then Packers able to get the job done. I have a lot of faith in them. You know, they do it week after week.
Right, exactly. And
they're a pretty healthy team.
Yep.
Going to the Monday night game here, Browns and the Steelers. I'm gonna pick these Brownies.
I'm going to pick the Steelers.
Okay. The 3-point favorites. I'm going to pick them Browns.
Even though the Steelers are shit, I'm going to pick the Steelers in this game. They seem to be, like I said, I think they're going to be 8-7 or 8-1 to finish the year there. And who do they end the year against? Let's see here. What are they?
The Ravens.
The Ravens, yeah. So the Ravens will end up beating them the last game of the year. They'll end up 8-1. And that's just the way it's got to be, you know. Ben Roethlisberger finished his career with a loss, so it'll be
the way it's got to be.
It's the way it's got to be.
Restore balance to the force.
This will be his last win of his career.
Before he rides off into the sunset
with a loss to the Ravens.
With a loss to the Ravens.
This game right here will be Ben Roethlisberger's last win of his career.
Oh my gosh. But that is our weekly week 17 pick there. So we'll right into our NBA coverage with our NBA hot and not Vern. Who you got on the hot list this week?
All right, so the hot list. The number 1 team on the hot list is the Chicago Bulls, okay? They're on a 4-game winning streak, 8-2 over the last 10. They've been fucking killing it. It doesn't even matter about COVID protocols.
Without Lonzo and Caruso right now.
Don't even matter.
And a couple other players. Don't matter.
Balling, regardless.
Vooch, DeMar, and Zach all had over 20 points last night.
Mm-hmm.
It was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It just seems like even with all these players going out, someone else steps up. And,
Right.
that's a sign of a good team. They got depth all around.
So that's why I have them number 1 this week on my hot list. They've been playing good basketball. Then I got Utah, number 2, also on a 4-game winning streak, 8-2 over the last 10.
Yeah.
Miami on a 3-game winning streak, 7-3 over the last 10. Golden State, of course, they've been playing great basketball all year. They're on a 3-game winning streak, 8-2 over the last 10. And then Milwaukee on a 3-game winning streak, 6-4 over the last 10. But they're trying to get their shit together there, Then for the not list, unfortunately, we have a new number 1 team on the not list this week, and it's my Los Angeles Lakers. Okay.
Oh.
They're on a 5-game losing streak right now, playing shit basketball. Fucking Anthony Davis is out for weeks. LeBron James ain't playing that great. I mean, he's playing good. He's getting some points. Russell Westbrook's getting blamed for everything. He ain't doing nothing wrong. People need to stop blaming us. I can go on for a while, fucking Lakers right now, okay? But the Lakers are on a 5-game losing streak. I had to put them on the not list because they deserve to be, 4-6 over the last 10 games. Familiar face here. Houston.
Back on the not list.
Back on the fucking not list. 4-game losing streak.
Didn't take long.
2-8 over the last 10. It did not take very long for them to be shit again. Then you got Detroit here on a 3-game losing streak. They're 1-9 over the last 10 games.
Damn.
And then Sacramento on a 3-game losing streak, 3-7 over the last 10. So those are some of the shittier teams in the NBA this year.
Okay. I only have a couple things this week as far as news. Vaccinated NBA players and coaches can now clear quarantine after 6 days if COVID testing data shows they're no longer at risk to be infectious.
Okay.
NBPA agreement comes at a time when players are testing positive and heading into quarantine at an unprecedented rate. 172 have entered COVID protocols in the past 2 weeks.
Damn.
Including a single-day high of 27 on Sunday.
God damn, man.
Yeah, so just like the NFL, NBA is trying to get these players back a little sooner, especially if they're not showing any symptoms or anything like that.
If they're clearing, if they're vaxxed, might as well get them out there, if they're not going to have any risk of spreading it.
Exactly. James Harden and Patty Mills are the first pair of teammates to each score 30 points on Christmas Day since Charles Barkley and Kevin Johnson in 1993, the year I was born.
They did that shit on my Lakers, huh? Without KD.
Mills also set the Christmas Day record with 8 made 3-pointers. Including the other night, Joel Embiid is 1-18 in his career on game-tying and go-ahead field goal in the final 5 seconds of the fourth quarter or in overtime.
That's a pretty not clutch stat right there.
Not clutch. Only Kemba Walker has been worse on such shots, and he was 0-25.
Oh my god! Why does he even have 25 attempts if he's already 0-20? You know what I mean? Or 0-15.
So games on the line.
God.
Last couple seconds. Don't get Embiid that ball.
Don't give it to Kemba or Embiid.
Yeah, don't give it to either of them. Trailblazers guard C.J. McCollum's collapsed right lung has fully recovered, and he's being reevaluated in 1 week.
Awesome. That's good news. Really good news.
Yeah. Bad news. Knicks' Derrick Rose underwent ankle surgery and will miss 8 weeks.
Damn. Holy shit. At least he'll be back eventually,
Eventually. Free agent guard Joe Johnson signed a 10-year, 10-day deal with the Boston Celtics.
Joe Johnson go play until he's 50. Holy shit. Yeah.
He's 40 years old, but he signed a 10-day contract. He hasn't played in the NBA since Houston in 2018.
Okay. I'm glad Joe Johnson's back. That's a great player. Like ISO Joe. It was great. He's from our generation of basketball, when we were growing up. So I'm glad to see him back.
Yeah. And someone that's out there, you guys released Isaiah Thomas.
Yep.
And you'll be signing him on a second 10-day deal. So he's out there still. I'm sure someone should pick him up, man.
Peace out.
Someone needs to pick his ass up.
He was not playing very good, so we had to ship him out. Sorry, buddy.
But that's all the NBA news that I have this week. So if you like, we can roll right into the Boz bubble here.
Yeah, man. I got some Lakers news here. LeBron James now all-time leader as far as points on Christmas Day games. He passed Kobe and Kareem. That was pretty cool. Kobe, he passed Kobe, but LeBron's all-time leader now. We lost to the Nets that night, 122 to 115. Without Kevin Durant, they still beat us. So Lakers are down bad. They're 16 and 18 right now, fourth in the Pacific. I didn't even look to see where they're in the playoffs because it doesn't matter at this point. But they're fourth in the division right now, so that's terrible. We did get rid of Isaiah Thomas, but we also signed Darren Collison to a 10-day there. So he's back in the league. The arena is now officially Crypto.com arena. They took down everything. They put up some Crypto.com banners and everything. So they've officially said that it was Crypto.com. And the last thing here is Magic Johnson was getting questioned about this new HBO series, and he said he's not looking forward to seeing this shit because apparently it's a pretty bad portrayal of Dr. Buss and everything. So,
oh shit,
we'll see how that is, but that's gonna be on HBO here shortly.
We'll have some spicy stuff.
Yeah, Magic ain't a fan apparently, but as far as my Patriots, you know. It's not good. Two straight losses.
You guys were riding high for a while.
We were riding so high, man. And now we're second in the AFC East and down to the 6th seed in risk of missing the playoffs, But
I was worried for a minute because at the beginning of the first couple of games of the season, Eagles and Patriots were like neck and neck. We're like, oh, our teams are very similar. And you guys have like a 7 or 8 game win streak. And I'm like, okay, Patriots are clearly better than the Eagles right now. But now you guys are only a game ahead of us right now.
Don't look like we are clearly better than anybody. You know what I mean? We're a good football team, but we're not a great football team. So
yeah.
But apparently now there's a 48% chance of Buffalo and New England playing in the wild card spot there. So that's round 3. Round 3 is coming, the tiebreaker game. So we'll see what happens there.
That's going to be awesome.
Apparently, Santa Mac gave out Bitcoin to all of his offensive linemen for Christmas this year. I saw. That was pretty interesting. He gave them out Bitcoin and information on it and just different things they can learn about it. But that's pretty crazy, That's a gift that'll keep on giving type of shit,
That is pretty cool.
And then we had Matthew Judon on the COVID list, a couple other players, but hopefully they can play next week. They're cleared by that. It's early enough in the week here where hopefully they're back. But that's all I had for my bias bubble there. Okay,
I actually had one thing I'm surprised you didn't see. Mac Jones is on pace to have the highest completion percentage of any rookie QB in history, with 69%.
Man. Any QB in history?
Any QB in NFL history.
Or rookie quarterback?
Yeah. No, the highest completion percentage of any rookie QB in history.
Okay, yeah, because he's been on pace for that for a couple of weeks now.
So he's still on pace with
Good. I'm glad he's still on pace for that because I was talking about that a while ago. He broke Dak Prescott's one record of through 13 or through X amount of games he had this completion percentage, and so that's great, man. I hope he does. He's been killing it all year. I hope he wins Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, I could see that happening, man. Especially with that run you guys had.
Yeah.
My Bulls though, we still sitting second in the East. We 21-10 right now. The Bulls, this is the first time that we're 10 games over 500 since 2016.
Okay, it's not too long.
Not too long, but long enough.
Yeah.
We had a great game the other night. DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine, a second pair of Bulls teammates with 30-plus points and 9 assists in the same game. And last was Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen.
There you go. That's good company to be with.
Exactly. And then last night against the Hawks, Nikola Vucevic had a stat line that no players ever had or exceeded in NBA history. He had 24 points, 17 rebounds, 6 assists, 4 blocks, and 4 3-point field goals.
Holy shit. He did something first ever in NBA history.
Yeah, it's the first time that stat line's ever happened.
Holy shit.
So I thought that was pretty noteworthy. As far as my Eagles, though, this was pretty interesting. I saw this a couple days after it was reported. Apparently, Gardner Minshew walked his way into Nick Sirianni's office a couple days after that Jets game where he played, and he asked if there's any potential if he could fight for the starting spot on the team. But Nick Sirianni said, "Nope, this is Jalen's team.
He's like,
Sorry."
nah, man.
So
What do you think this is?
he flat out said no. He said, "No, sorry. We're rolling with Jalen Hurts."
He's like, yo,
So
man, you know, so like I know I came in and played pretty fucking good that game, you know, so we got a QB competition ahead of us, right? And he's like, no, what the fuck are you talking about? I would probably get rid of you at the end of the season. Bro,
I actually, he's on contract for another year, the contract we picked up. So I'm really hoping we stick, unless, we just kind of like.
Probably no guaranteed money, though.
It's probably no guaranteed money, but unless we like, all right, like, we want to do right by you, you can go find your home or whatever.
Yeah.
I would like to see him come back as a backup because I would not mind having him as a backup.
Yeah.
I like Gardner Minshew. Because he's not terrible.
Right.
I think he's a great backup.
Great backup, man. He's a great backup because if he comes in and be just fresh, that's a great player to have as your quarterback.
Exactly.
Better than a lot of backups in the league.
Yeah. Miles Sanders broke his hand against the Giants.
God, of course. How long is he out?
They didn't put him on IR because they expect him to be back at some point.
Okay.
Which my guess is they're hoping he's going to be back for playoffs if we make it.
So
I didn't see anything official on that, but they just said they didn't put him on IR because they expect him to be back. Since then, we have picked up Kerryon Johnson once again.
Okay.
He's back on the squad. I don't expect him to see any team time because it's looking like Jordan Howard and Boston Scott and Kenneth Gainwell are going to be rolling there. But Eagles need 160 rush yards to break the franchise record for most rush yards in a season set in 1949.
Damn. You're definitely
so that
going to break that. You're going to break it in this next game here.
Yeah, and that was at 2,607 rushing yards in 1949. So we're going to be breaking that here hopefully soon. We have rushed 130 plus yards in 9 straight games, and that is the best streak in 77 years.
Holy shit, man. Them Eagles changed all the formula up. They're like, all right, you guys want us to run the ball? We'll fucking run the ball.
Okay, we'll go pound it down your throat.
We'll fucking run the ball. Fine. Fuck it. Here, look. This is what you get.
We didn't get to talk about this since last week, but it was scary. Like a day or so after we did the podcast, Nick Sirianni tested positive for COVID.
You're like, oh, shit.
He got cleared the day before the game, and even like an interview like a couple of days before the game, they asked him like what's the time frame that he needs so he could be available for the game. He's like, if I'm cleared 2 minutes before the game, I'm gonna be there. Don't worry about it. So
he's like, I'll get there. I'll figure it out. Don't worry about it.
But Nick said in a thing today that the Eagles are going beyond NFL protocols when it comes to COVID, and that the quarterbacks Hurts, Minshew, and the third string Sinnett are in separate rooms now. Like, so they're not taking any chances. And even with other players, apparently they're kind of separating them in groups a little bit, kind of going beyond protocols,
especially
just to make sure we're healthy.
This late in the year, you need to do that 100%.
Yeah, so they're taking everything super seriously. So, the only thing is you really can't do much in the games because against these other teams who may not be taking it as seriously, they may be following protocols, but at that point, you can't even do anything about it.
Exactly. You just got to hope that they are.
Yeah.
Honor system.
Devontae Smith is 92 yards away from setting the Eagles' record for most receiving yards by a rookie, beating Deshaun Jackson's record. So he only needs over 92 yards.
Over 2 games, I think he can get that easily.
I think he had 80 this past game. I think we can definitely manage that.
Shit.
And he's 179 yards away from being the first Eagles wide receiver to have over 1,000 yards since 2014.
Okay.
So that's another big milestone.
It's a
hopefully you get it done.
You knew he was going to be this type of wide receiver, though.
And he's pulling out all the receipts. Mm-hmm. This dude has a sideline catch every game now where he's like, how did he make that shit? It's like the shit he was doing in college. It's amazing.
And it's going to only get better from here.
And even the shit he was doing in college where he catches it and does that wheel route around whoever's going to hit him. Like, you don't see that too much. People that are able to get out of that first tackle right away.
Right.
My boy Lane Johnson caught his first catch and touchdown here in this game against the Giants. Lane is the first Eagles offensive lineman with a touchdown catch since Todd Harriman's, who had 2, one in 2008 and one in 2010.
Big boy getting
for them
touchdown,
Eagles.
man. Stealing some Patriots shit.
I was surprised, man. I was not expecting him to throw that shit to Lane Johnson. I was like, what? Is that Lane?
Is that legal?
Is that legal? We had 2 Pro Bowlers this year. We had Darius Slay and Jason Kelsey.
No surprises there.
No surprises there. I mean, I think Lane Johnson should have been on there because he hasn't allowed a single sack this season, and he's been amazing. And Javon Hargrave got kind of gypped as well. But our Pro Bowl alternates was Hargrave, Jake Elliott, who was ridiculously snubbed because he didn't miss a single field goal. Yeah,
all year.
He's been a beast. Hargrave, Jake Elliott, Dallas Goedert, Sean Bradley, Josh Sweat, and Jalen Hurts are Pro Bowl alternates. So I mean, Jalen Hurts on his second year, first year starting, he's got voted as a Pro Bowl alternate, which is, if who's starting in there goes to the Super Bowl, Jalen Hurts might be in there playing, which is pretty cool.
That's pretty awesome, man. That's cool to see. I would love to see Jalen Hurts in the Pro Bowl.
I would too, man. And the last 2 things I have here, Jason Kelsey has allowed 1 sack and 1 QB hit since week 10 of 2020.
Damn.
And this dude's over 30. He's over 10 years in the NFL as center, and he's still making the Pro Bowl and one of the best centers in the league. And he might retire next year. I hope not. I hope not. I don't want him to retire, man.
I thought he was going to retire before this year.
He's been one expected to retire the past couple seasons, right. And it's just when's his announcement going to come?
I'm still playing. I'm
each year, here's another Pro Bowl or whatever, another top center in the league.
He's trying to just stack up Pro Bowls by this point.
Jalen Hurts, and this is the last thing I have here. Jalen Hurts joins Cam Newton and Kyler Murray as the only QBs with 700+ rushing yards and 10+ rushing touchdowns in a season.
That's also good company. Those are good mobile, good precedent-setting quarterbacks there.
Exactly. Actually, the other thing I just found out tonight, which being an Eagles fan, you think I would have fucking knew this shit. And I found it, unfortunately, because of John Madden passing. John Madden was drafted by the Eagles.
Yeah, I read that too.
But he never played a regular season game in the NFL because he had a career-ending injury during training camp.
Yep.
Apparently.
Ended up,
which is terrible.
Guided him towards being a legendary head coach.
Yeah, but we drafted him in the 21st round, apparently, in 1958.
Damn, 21 rounds. Holy shit.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, holy hell, 21 rounds. That's nuts. But he had a knee injury in his first training camp and it ended his career, which is wild. Yeah. That shit, you don't see that shit nowadays.
Something that bad that it ended his career.
And apparently, as he was recovering from his knee injury, he found his coaching career path through the Eagles QB at the time, Norm Van Brocklin, who was kind of walking him through all the plays and film and stuff and kind of teaching him everything about the game, all the intricacies and stuff. And his quote was and I'm watching and seeing how he's thinking and get ready to attack the defense. That's where I learned pro football, seeing from Norm Van Brocklin what it takes to prepare for a game.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's super damn cool. And I'm surprised I didn't know that he was drafted by the Eagles. He never played, unfortunately, but to have a legendary player, not even player, but coach, and name in the NFL, John Madden, to be part of your franchise at one point, it's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. It's going to be awesome to see a documentary come out, because I know that's probably what's next, just so I can learn more about him.
That All Madden documentary that premiered on Christmas Day. I don't know if you saw that.
No, I didn't see that. I need to check that out because I would love to learn more about him, man.
Yeah, that's what's even crazy, man. The documentary called All Madden premiered on Christmas Day, and then a couple of days later, he passes. It's wild.
Damn.
That's our bias bubbles this week. Going into the crazy sports stat fact of the podcast, I kind of hinted at it earlier. The Bills did not punt against the Patriots, and they are the first team with 0 punts in a game against Bill Belichick as a coach, and that's 474 games, including playoffs.
First time ever that a team didn't punt against us?
Yeah.
God damn it, man. I didn't realize it was that bad. It didn't seem like it was that bad.
474 games with Bill Belichick as a coach that the opposite team did not punt.
He's probably pissed off at the defense, man. They're going to have to do some crazy shit in practice all week. I feel bad for him.
And then you had that lady had the audacity to ask what Bill Belichick's like New Year's resolutions are. Did you hear that?
No, what did he say?
Oh, you didn't see that? She was like, he looked so pissed off after the game, and he's sitting there asking questions, and they just go to this nice little old lady, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm doing a story about like such and such," and she's like, "We just want to know if you have any New Year's resolutions for the year or whatever," and he's just like, "No." That's all. He just looks at her, and then he's just, "No." He said maybe next week.
She's like, "Oh shit, okay."
That's what he said. He's like, "No, maybe next week."
Maybe next week. Ask me next week.
Like, maybe if he won that game, he would have gave you a new trade. But that's not a question to ask this dude after coming off a loss.
Shouldn't ask him anything after a loss, to be honest.
Yeah. Bill just wants to, talk to his team, bitch about, tell, like, you got to do better.
Get on to the next week.
On to the next week. But that's the show this week, man. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We want you to like and subscribe if you can, please. Make sure to go follow us on Twitter at SquadPodSports. We are up past 930 follows. We're trying to get to 1,000 by the end of the year, which, man, we're a couple days away. It's not looking good right now.
We'll get there
soon. We're getting there soon, though. But I hope everybody has a great new year. We'll see everybody next year. But for real, thank you, everybody, for watching this year. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't. And we will see everybody next year to talk about the games.
Yep, absolutely.
Peace out.